I'm Melissa Thomas of Penguin and Fish. Today I wanted to share with you how to make the back of your embroidery as neat and clean as the front, with no loose ends and no knots on the back. The method I use to do this is a temporary knot called an away knot. Typically, to start a new piece of floss on an embroidery, you bring the needle with the floss from the back of the fabric through to the front. One way to keep the end of the floss from slipping all the way through the fabric is to simply tie a knot on the end of the floss. But this knot can sometimes leave a bump on the front of the embroidery that you don't want. And if you're embroidering something that will be washed, the knot can become loose and untied. A better way to stop your floss from coming through your fabric is by using an away knot. It's easy to do and makes the back super clean and pretty. And here's how you do it. To start, tie a knot at the end of the floss. Next, find a spot about 5 inches away from the area you want to embroider. I want to start stitching at the hedgehog's ear, so the spot I'm going to choose is about here. At that spot, bring the needle from the front of the fabric through to the back, so the knot will be on the front of the fabric. This is the temporary away knot. Next, bring the needle through from the back of the fabric where you want to start stitching. Then stitch the embroidery design as you normally would. When there's about 5 inches of floss left on the needle, or you're done with the part of the embroidery that you're on, then finish the last stitch, which brings the needle to the back of the embroidery. Turn the embroidery to the back. To secure the end of the floss, instead of making a knot, take the needle and weave it back and forth through the stitches. Then weave it again in the opposite direction. Then do it again one more time. This weaving process locks the end of the floss in place. Carefully trim the floss close to the stitches. Now this end of the floss is finished. To finish up the other end of the floss, I'm going to go back to the away knot. With the scissors, carefully snip off the away knot and discard it. Now that the away knot is snipped away, you have about a 5-inch tail of floss on the back. Thread the end through the needle, then weave it back and forth through the stitches in the same way you did at the other end of the floss. Trim the end, and now both ends are secure on the back of the embroidery, and there are no knots and no loose floss ends. Now just continue the rest of the design using the same process with each new piece of floss. And that's how you can use the away knot to make the back of your embroidery as neat and clean as the front. For more embroidery and sewing tips, check out penguinandfish.com and our book Sew and Stitch Embroidery, available online and in stores. Find more info at penguinandfish.com/sew and stitch embroidery.